I always feel really awkward about starting videos because I really don't know how to start them. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Taylor, and today I'm going to be talking about the 9 books that I read in January. Now, I don't know about you guys, but January was the longest month I have ever lived in my entire life, and I will be 30 in August. Yeah, so in spite of all that, I still somehow read 9 books, and I wanted to go over them with you guys and just tell you guys my thoughts, my ratings, if I recommend them, all the things. There's no particular order in how I'm going to go over these. I read 4 physical books, and then the rest were either Kindle or audiobooks or a combination of those. So I'm just gonna start with the physical books and then we'll jump into the others. First up is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I rated this 5 stars. Everybody rants and raves about this book, so I honestly went into it thinking that I would like it just because of how many people say that this book is really truly worth the read. Our 2 main characters have a one-night stand, which leads to an accidental pregnancy, and basically they come together for the sake of their child, and during that time they fall in love. It is such a beautifully written story, and I know a lot of people do not like the pregnancy trope, which I understand and I get it, but I feel like when tropes or topics are done right, it's worth reading even if you necessarily don't like that thing. This one for me, I will always recommend it because it is just so beautifully written. The characters literally, you fall for them. They are so relatable. Win, which is the FMC, just her thought process on everything that she's going through just is extremely realistic. You keep rooting for her and you really hope that everything that she wants in life she gets, just because she is that genuine of a character. And then Bo is the MMC, and he is honestly the blueprint for me. I feel like all MMCs should be modeled after him because he is so perfect. Everything about this book was just so good. I do not think I would change a single thing about it. It is truly a perfect read for me. Next up is Beartown by Fredrik Backman. I also rated this one 5 stars, and this was actually the very first book that I read this year, and man, let me tell you, I have had this book for quite a while, and honestly it has been on my TBR for even longer than I've had it, but for some reason I just didn't want to pick it up. Not really sure why, but I'm kicking myself for not picking this up literally the day that I got it, because it is such a heartbreaking, beautiful story. I absolutely adored Bachman's writing in this. Beartown is about a town that eats, sleeps, and breathes hockey, and the hockey players are adolescents. And when an incident occurs that is caused by one of the hockey players, the town basically has to decide, do they care more about this hockey team and basically what this team does for their town, or do they care more about their morals and what is right and wrong? This book is a part of a series. I have not read the other books in this series yet, but just based off of this book alone, I already highly recommend this series. I'm giving myself a little bit of a break because there are a lot of heavy topics in this book, so please check trigger warnings if you need that. But nonetheless, this was such a great story, and I highly recommend it. Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. If you guys follow me on Instagram or TikTok, then you probably already know that I have not been able to shut up about this book since I've read it. I actually decided that I'm going to make an entire video about this book and Bloodmark, so I'm not actually going to go in depth about this book in this video. All I will say is 5 freaking stars. Please read it. Give it a try. What are you waiting for? Do it now. For the last physical book, I read Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Before you guys say anything, okay? I know. I had an internal debate on whether I was going to read this book or continue this series. It really did come down to the literal last minute, and I decided that I was going to go ahead and give this book another try, give a series another try. I actually have not rated this, and I don't even know what to rate it. There's already just so much talk about this book, good and bad, and for my own sanity, I just really do not want to go in depth about this book at all. Just know I have no rating for it. I really don't plan to continue this series. The next 3 books are a collection of novellas. The STEMinist novellas by Ali Hazelwood. These novellas are the first things that I have read by Ali Hazelwood, and I'm not mad about it. I'm actually very disappointed in myself for not having picked up any of her work sooner. The first one in the collection is Under One Roof. I rated this one 4 out of 5 stars. This one was my favorite. It had forced proximity, which I love a good little forced proximity moment. The next one is Stuck With You. I honestly did not like this one like at all. I rated it a 2 out of 5. It felt very annoying to me, like I did not vibe or connect with either of the characters. And the third one is Below Zero. I rated that one a 3 out of 5 stars. I actually read that one first by accident. I did not realize that this was part of a collection of novellas. I thought it was just a standalone novella, so I read that one first, and then once I realized that it was part of a collection, I went back and read the first one. Overall, I do recommend all 3 of them. Basically, it's about 3 college best friends who work in STEM, and then they basically go off and find the love of their life, and they do basically show up in each other's novellas, so I do recommend reading it from the first novella and not starting with the last one. But overall, they weren't bad. They were cute, short, fun reads. Next, we have The Widow's Husband's Secret Lie. Yeah, it's by Frida McFadden, and this is a satirical novella. I rated this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and guys, please just do yourself a favor and give this one a try. It was so funny to me and so outlandish, and it's very, very, very predictable, but I will say there were moments that I actually had not predicted, but it was so funny, and I was literally laughing out loud during some moments. I honestly didn't even know that this existed until I was scrolling through Libby in like the available now section, and I filtered it to audiobooks, and this one was available, and I really didn't realize that it was a satire until I actually started to really get into it. I was like, no, this is so bad that it's good. What is going on with this? And then I actually read the synopsis, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's a satire. But yes, if you were needing a funny, quick read, please give this one a try. And the last book that I read in January was Barbarian Lover by Ruby Dixon. This is the 3rd book in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. So far, this is my favorite one. I rated this one a 4 out of 5 stars. This one was so good. Kira and Ihako, I absolutely loved them. I adored them so much. Kira's so far the first FMC that has not made me want to pull my hair out. Like, the other 2 were kind of insufferable at times, especially, I forget her name, but the one in the 2nd book, she was so insufferable, and she was so mean to, I think his name was Rahash. She was so mean to him for no freaking reason, and it really just pissed me off. But in this book, Kira is just so nice to Ayako, and he's so nice and attentive to her, and he just cared about her so much and didn't really care about the things that she was going through that can potentially like mess with him. And it was just so good, guys. Okay, I'm really loving this series so far. I know I'm only on the 3rd book, and there's like 30 plus books or something like that. I'm kind of using the series as like a palate cleanser in between really heavy and thick books, just because like if I read this all in one go, if I binge it, there is a very, very high chance that I will be burnt out from this series and not finish it, which I don't want to happen. I am actually really, really interested in this series, and with there being 30 plus books, I just want to make sure I go at a pace that I can continue to enjoy them. That's pretty much it for this video. Like I said, I do want to do an entire video on Legendborn and Bloodmark, just because I just recently finished that book, and I want to give this series its own video just so I can talk about both of them at the same time. I will say my 2 favorite books I did read this month were Out on a Limb and Legendborn. I love them both the same for different reasons, and I feel like those 2 books are definitely going to resonate with me for a while. I appreciate you all, and thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.